Today we are going to be stepping back in time. We have looked at jets, and now we're going to be looking at primarily propeller-driven aircraft. Today we're looking at the Miles M.38 Messenger 2A, seen here on display at the New Zealand Warbirds Association. The Messenger was developed in 1942 as an airborne observation post, or AOP, and liaison aircraft made of a wooden monocoque. The Messengers were designed to operate from rough airstrips, in a variety of weather conditions, and could be flown by pilots with very limited experience. The Messengers were known as STOL aircraft, that's slow takeoff and landing, meaning it could get out of and into airports at a very low speed with very little room provided. As you can see on the trailing edge here, you have what's known as the flaps, or additional lift devices, which are needed for low-speed flying. As well as you can see, the Messengers also had a very large wing surface area to provide all the lift needed to get in and out of small airports at low speeds. Speaking of which, I believe through my own research, the Miles Messenger had a stall speed of around 25 miles an hour, or somewhere between 40 and 50 kilometers an hour. So it gives you an idea of how slow this aircraft was able to fly. The Messengers were designed as a private venture by request of the British Army, and only a limited number of them were produced. There was around 93 were only ever built. And this particular model is painted in the color scheme of a Miles Messenger with the registration RH368. It was operated by Field Marshal Montgomery, who, if you don't know who if you don't know who Field Marshal Montgomery was, he was a high-ranking Field Marshal, a member of the British Army who saw a lot of action in World War II. The only thing I can think of is North Africa. I'm sure he did do other campaigns. If you know, please let me know in the comments. And for those of you who don't know, the reason why you see a lot of Allied aircraft have these black and white stripes on them was because just before the D-Day landings on the 6th of June 1944, the ground troops and RAF were worried that they will have their own aircraft shot down. And so the RAF decided to paint a distinguishing feature on the wings and body of the aircraft. Turns out that would be the black and white stripes, and I don't know for certain, but I do believe that worked quite well. I don't know exactly how many aircraft were lost due to friendly ground fire. If anyone knows, please feel free to let me know in the comments. Another distinguishing feature of the Messengers were its tri-tail design, which can be seen on another famous late World War II aircraft, the Lockheed Constellation. Albeit it had a tri-tail for a different reason. The Messengers had a tri-tail design to aid in maneuverability at low speeds, whereas the Lockheed Constellation had a tri-tail because the hangars of the day wouldn't be able to fit the Lockheed Constellations because the tail would have been too tall, leading to the aircraft being unable to fit in hangars, so they gave it the tri-tail design. So for those of you who have always wanted to see something other than the Lockheed Constellation with the tri-tail, I present to you the Miles Messenger. I've just come around to the front of the aircraft because I wanted to talk to you about the undercarriage. Albeit non-retractable, it was long enough to provide enough clearance for the propeller to be able to work without hitting the ground, particularly on rough terrain. One last little feature I want to show you on the Messenger is this little propeller here. It operates under what's known as ram air, or in the airflow. As the aircraft moves along, this propeller starts to spin, and by my understanding, it provides DC power. It's basically just a backup power generator. So another short video, I'm afraid, again because I have very limited knowledge on the Miles Messenger. If you have any other bits of knowledge that I have missed out, please feel free to slap it down in the comments and I'll have a read of it. Other than that, please feel free to like and subscribe. And I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.